I told you there was nothing to freak out about on Xbox strategy, and we just got some huge news. I think Xbox laid out adequately their plan going forward. I think they put to rest some of the rumors. This is the video from the podcast that dropped today where Xbox went over their business plan. Now, we did another video earlier going over PlayStation's bringing some games multi-platform as well, and Xbox went over it. There's some two big news drops in this today, a console and a game that are coming to Game Pass that I think are absolutely huge. But let's go over in detail what all the hubbub was about, what the drama was about. There's a lot of Xbox influencers out there that completely overreactive, that have showed themselves to be nothing but egomaniacs, that had no idea what was going on, and they all look foolish today. And you know who doesn't? This guy. Two thumbs. Who has two thumbs and doesn't look foolish today? This guy. Anyways, vindication. I feel good. So should you. You didn't freak out either. So let's go over. I thought the podcast was really well. It's about 22 minutes long. If you haven't watched it, make sure you go check it out. It's on Xbox's main channel there. This was it. Matt Booty, Sarah Bond, and Phil Spencer there interviewed, talked a little bit about, now this was planned since December. This meeting, what they were going to do here, and I think they wanted to focus on Activision Blizzard and what it means and stuff like that. Instead, because of all the hubbub of, hey, Xbox is no longer in consoles, Xbox is no longer doing, Xbox is not going to exist, it's going to die. They obviously addressed the elephant in the room first, and that is Xbox exclusivity. So first of all, 4 games are going to other consoles. 4 games. They didn't say what 4 games. They're going to leave it up to those developers to announce them. They also reiterated that this is not a change to the fundamental plan of Xbox. So, what are the considerations here on what games go to Xbox and why these 4 games? The considerations they mentioned is the long-term health of Xbox, the Xbox platform in mind. Hardware's not going anywhere. Xbox is already in hardware. Xbox is already focused on the next generation of hardware. The major considerations here are, will these games help grow the platform? Will these games going to other platforms help the game perform better? Does it help reach as many players as possible? Does it help grow the franchise? Those are the considerations. Now, they did clarify Starfield is not going to any other console. Indiana Jones is not going to any other console. So those are the 2 big ones out of the gate. What 4 games? They kind of gave us some clues here. 2 of them are service-based games, community-driven games, and in that respect, it makes sense for them to be on other consoles. You need, in a service-based game, as many people as possible to make that happen. So I think Sea of Thieves, that was one of the games that's going to be rumored. I think that's definitely going for sure. I think that's a community-driven, service-based game. The other 2 are smaller games, and Phil Spencer said these were never intended to be big platform-exclusive games. I think that's one of those games is probably Hi-Fi Rush, just like the leaks suggested. So 2 are smaller games, 2 are service-based, community-driven games like that. Why? They discuss why will some games like this go to other platforms? They're going to utilize, they said, we're going to utilize these other platforms to drive more value to these franchises. Anytime there's an opportunity that we don't damage Xbox and grow our business, we're going to do that, said Phil Spencer. And it's a way for us to introduce different Xbox franchises to players on other platforms to get them more interested in Xbox. Is a Halo ever going to another platform? It doesn't sound like it. Starfield's not. Indiana Jones, flat out, nope, not happening. And it's smaller games as a service, at least as of now, that's where it's at. They hit multiple times on Xbox is here to stay. Xbox hardware is here to stay. Here are the core principles. Matt Booty talked about the core principles of Xbox. All games on the Xbox platform. All of them. All Xbox games on Game Pass on day 1, including the newly acquired Bethesda Studios games, including all the Activision Blizzard games going forward. All Xbox games on Game Pass on day 1. All games on the Xbox platform. Game Pass will only be available on Xbox. So everyone can put away the rumors of Game Pass going to the Nintendo Switch, the rumors of Game Pass going to the PlayStation. That's not going to happen. That never made sense. That's not something that we discussed here on this channel. And then finally, crossplay and cross save is fundamental to what they're doing. Those are the principles there. So let me reiterate real quick for all of the freak out, all of the hubbub, all of the losers out there that had their egos hurt and were mad and burned their Xboxes. First of all, don't come back. Like, if that's how you want to act as an influencer, if I'm a follower of any of these guys, I've already unfollowed them. Don't come, go to PlayStation. If that's all it takes for you to go, a rumor, and you blow in the wind, then go. Like, I don't want you here. I don't want you here. It's one thing if you were a person that, hey, I'm concerned about these rumors. Everybody's freaking out. I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about the guys stoking the rumors, making it a bigger deal than it needed to be, causing people like us to have concerns. That's who I'm talking about. The drivers of this. I will also say Xbox has got to figure out a way to clamp down on this. This was needless, especially after what we're seeing here. Absolutely needless. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a smart move. Now, two big news drops here. Two giant ones. Diablo 4, finally an Activision game. I mean, we had some other Activision games, but the big boy, the big hitter coming to Game Pass March 28th. That was a big unveil. I think that's what they wanted to focus on initially with this, not this other stuff. But all the dumb influencers out there that ruined it for the rest of us, we had to talk about everything else first, and we barely touched on Diablo 4 coming to Game Pass March 28th. That's absolutely huge. And I think they also wanted to talk about hardware going forward. And here's what they said about hardware here. Here's the other big news. We're already working on the next, Sarah Bond talked about it, the next generation Xbox. And our goal is to make it the largest technical leap ever in a generation. That's right, the largest technical leap ever in a generation. We're going to talk about what that might mean here just in a second. They also said on our hardware, there's more creators right now building on Xbox than ever before. And the Xbox will always be the flagship experience. You'll always have the flagship Game Pass experience. It will be on Xbox, no question. Obviously Game Pass for PC is a thing, and that's not going anywhere as well, but that's that. Overall, my review of this podcast and this announcement, yeah, it's fantastic. It's good. Nothing changed. We're the same place we are today than we were 2 weeks ago. The only thing that changed is in between now and 2 weeks ago, the influencers freaked out. The egomaniacs freaked out. And I'm going to say it again. See you later. See you later. You burned your Xbox. You said, I'm out. I let go. There are people in my comments that said, I unsubscribed from Game Pass. I'm getting a PlayStation. Okay, see you later. Don't let the door hit you on the ass. See ya. Bye-bye. We don't need you. If that's all that it takes, don't need you. It was all fake. You all made it a big deal for nothing. You all freaked out. Go touch some grass. Go get some therapy. And align your life correctly. Balance it, because something's missing there for you to freak out this much. Questions here that I have that I wrote down. How will Xbox's strategy of releasing games on multiple platforms after the console affect? Sorry, I misread my own question. Who misreads their own question? Let me reread that. Sorry, guys. How will Xbox's strategy of releasing games on multiple platforms affect the console wars and gamer loyalty? I think it's just the next iteration. I don't know that it affects console wars. I think PlayStation is really struggling to figure out what do we do moving forward. Keep in mind, Xbox has an advantage here because they've been working on Game Pass for a few years. Because it's they've already with these big purchases of publishers, they're kind of just starting to roll here with everything. I mean, look, Diablo 4 coming to Game Pass is absolutely huge. If you play Diablo 4 on the PC, why not just get it on Game Pass? Or you've been thinking about playing it, why not just get it on Game Pass? It's the same game. If you play it on the Xbox, why not? If you play it on PlayStation, well, wait a minute. I have a PlayStation, you think about it, what? Maybe I'll subscribe to Game Pass here to get access to Diablo 4. And all Activision, so when they say all Xbox games are coming to Game Pass day one, that means future Call of Duties, guys. That's huge. Even though Call of Duty is going to be available on other platforms, that's absolutely huge. That's huge. Which brings us to our next. So as far as it affecting console wars, I mean, number one, I think we saw the toxicity of console wars this last 2 weeks with I think people, I'm going to say this. I think that this is why console wars are toxic. I think it's fun, the competition. It's interesting to see these big gaming companies compete and see what they bring us, how they benefits us in their competition. I think where it becomes toxic is exactly what happened in these last weeks. And I think what we saw, and I think where some of these influencers were exposed, is it seemed to me, and it came off, that just because that they're not in it for the love of video games, they're in it because they hate the other guy. And that's super toxic. And how dare the other guy is getting a game that should only be on my team. That's it. I'm out. I am out. I'm taking my ball and going home. That's incredibly toxic, and that's the problem with console wars. If by console wars we mean the competition, I'm here for it. I love it. But I think we saw the toxicity, and it became apparent to me that some of these guys that honestly need to go and see a therapist. I believe in therapy 100%. I've been myself. My wife is a therapist. It works. Go get it. Can the addition of major titles like Diablo 4 to Xbox Game Pass redefine subscription gaming? I don't think redefine's a big word. I don't think we're redefining anything. I think we're just continually adding to the value here. The value of Game Pass is only going to continue to grow. It's only going to continue to grow. And Diablo 4 is proof positive of that. Now let's talk about next generation hardware. You know how I like hardware. I like it a lot. What could the largest technical leap ever that Sarah Bond referred to mean for gamers and for the future of Xbox hardware? I don't know. This generation, it wasn't graphics, really. It was speed. So if the Xbox Series X and S is a generation, it was speed. And so if we're looking forward, what is the technical? If we have speed, it's got to be graphical. It's got to be the ability. It's got to be the ability of performance. Imagine not having to make the choice, or that choice is minimal between performance and quality. Because right now it's not minimal on console anyways. It may be minimal on PC, depending on what type of PC you have. But on console, it's not. You're talking 30 frames on performance, or 60 frames on performance in a lot of cases, maybe 120 for some games, and 30 for quality. Imagine not having to make that choice. Or imagine if that choice is just one step up. If that choice is performance 120, quality 60. And you're getting the highest fidelity game at 60 frames a second. If 60 is the new 30, I think that's probably going to be the biggest jump in Xbox hardware in my mind. That the standard becomes 60 on everything and 120 for performance. I mean, that's a giant leap. That's a giant leap in my mind. Now, wishful thinking, could you get to 120 on everything and not have to sacrifice? Or imagine if it's 120 and, I don't know, 90. we're capped at 90. I don't know. I think 60 frames, it becomes the new 30, and that's going to be also storage. Can we please, since we know now Xbox that money comes from software, please give me enough storage that I'm not messing around. 1 terabyte is not enough. It really isn't. I want out the gate a 2 terabyte. 2 terabyte, I'd be sitting pretty. 2 terabyte is not too shabby. I'm not having to make choices here. Let me do 2 terabytes and expand from there. We've got to get higher storage on these things, NVMe storage on the next generation consoles. I hope we go with that. I hope we go with huge future set. I think hardware is also in next generation is also going to come with controller features. I think PlayStation has beat the Xbox on some controller features this time around that I hope come out the gate there, and maybe we push forward in that realm as well going forward. Regardless, this business update, I think, was fantastic. I think it underscores there's no change in direction. It underscores exactly why I think Xbox is going to dominate this next generation. This is the beginning of the Xbox domination generation. You've heard me say that here before. I would love to know what you guys think, though. Did you like it? Is there anybody out there that was like, actually, this was very disappointing to me? That you think that the 4 games make sense to me. And what they're talking about here, they're not talking about big title headers. That makes no sense. They're talking about Sea of Thieves. I would have even been okay with a Starfield with timed releases that way. So this I think is even smarter. Small games, service-based games that can benefit and will benefit the most from exposing to a larger audience. The other thing we learned is we're at 34 million subscribers on Game Pass. That's absolutely huge. So congratulations Game Pass on that, and that's only going to continue to grow. And it's an exciting time. It's an exciting time to be in gaming. We're at the dawn of the golden age of gaming, and I am here for it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Where am I right? Where am I wrong? If you like this video, subscribe to it, guys. Lots of plans for this channel here in the future. We're going to have live streams. We're going to have regular live streams, so stay tuned for that. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.